So I have a question for us. Why is the red thread red? Yeah, why is the seed thread, the seed line, why do we make that a red color? And the answer has to do with a significant mega theme in the scriptures. It has to do with blood, specifically the blood of Jesus Christ. He offers himself on the cross as a sacrifice for sins. He is the seed of the woman from Genesis 3:15. The seed of the woman comes to crush the serpent, but in doing so, he offers himself as a sacrifice. And so it's his blood that is the real symbolic theme of the entire Old Testament. Now, before we get to the cross, we have this 4,000-year season, or this history leading up to the cross. And so they learned very early on, as early as Adam and Eve, that because of sin, something has to die. And so blood animal sacrifices become a way of life, become part of the culture, all the way through Genesis and leading up to Moses. And Moses institutes this very detailed, elaborate custom and laws and guidelines for how they offer sacrifices. He sets aside one tribe of the 12 tribes, the tribe of Levi, and they conduct the sacrifices. They collect the blood in the bowls, and they have to learn how to route it and drain it and dispose of it in such a way that they can live and function sanitarily, but also deal with volumes of blood. There were sacrifices where they sacrificed thousands and tens of thousands of animals. And in one particular festival during Solomon's day, they sacrificed over 100,000 oxen, goats, sheep. Blood sacrifices is a lot of blood. So anyway, we have this history and the story of blood. We have we see in prophecy when Jesus comes back in Revelation chapter 19, we see he's going to come back on a white horse in a robe dipped in blood, symbolizing probably his blood, but also practically speaking, it suggests that the blood splatter from the day of judgment soaks his robe in blood. So it's very graphic when you read the scriptures and you see the cost, or the result of sin is death, and from that comes blood. But the bloodshed of Jesus Christ, again, the seed of the woman, that's the ultimate sacrifice. Now, throughout scriptures, we see we have these cameo appearances of red thread in some interesting ways. For example, in Genesis 38, that weird story with Judah and Tamar, well, they have their boys. They have twin boys, and so to identify which one comes out first, the scriptures say they used a scarlet cord or a red cord or ribbon to identify, to wrap around the arm of the boy that comes out. Interestingly, one of those boys, Perez, ends up he's in the line of Jesus Christ. We have another red thread in the story of Rahab in the book of Joshua. The spies go across and they check out the land. They find Rahab. Rahab promises to help them, and they promise to help Rahab and keep her safe and keep her family safe. So to identify where she lives, she drops a red cord or a rope, a red color, scarlet color cord out her window so that they know to protect that family. Interestingly, she becomes she marries into the red thread bloodline and becomes an ancestor to Jesus Christ. Again, another story of the red thread. But probably the most interesting one to me about the red thread is in the book of Numbers. Numbers chapter 19 specifies how they were to conduct a particular sacrifice, specifically the red heifer sacrifice. Not a white heifer, not a brown heifer, but a red heifer sacrifice. And so 3 things were to be thrown into the fire with the red heifer. Numbers chapter 19, verse 6, and it says, cedar wood, hyssop, and then the third item, scarlet yarn. Seriously, look it up. Scarlet yarn, red thread, thrown into the fire with the red heifer sacrifice. I do not know why, but I think it's fascinating. So now I know, and now you know, a little bit more about why is the red thread the color red.